Hello friends, I am Professor Pranav Singh Patil and you are studying weed management. In last class we discussed about herbicide selectivity, types of herbicide selectivity and its impact and how we can increase the performance of herbicide by understanding the selectivity. Now today we are going to study another topic, that is allelopathy, its applications in weed management. So we are now just moving out of the herbicides and we are again talking about the some chemicals which are released by the weeds as well as plants and what is their importance, how we can utilize them. So allelopathy is not a new term, you have already studied in case of, if I believe that characteristic of weeds. In that I told you that the weeds have allelopathic character. What is allelopathic character? It is the direct or indirect effect of the one plant on another plant by releasing some toxic chemicals into the soil, into the zone. That is allelopathy. Now, first view is that we believe allelopathy is negative character. Whether allelopathy is completely negative character, whether it is always harmful or we can utilize it, what is the details of the allelopathy, what are the weeds releasing allelopathic chemicals, what are the important species we should know, and all these details we are going to study in today's topic. So, let us begin with allelopathy. Allelopathy and its applications in weed management. So, this term allelopathy is derived from Greek language, two words. Allelon means each other and pathos means to suffer. So, each others, the adjective because of presence of allelopathic chemicals. So, one plant has toxic effect on another plant due to a release of some chemicals into the soil, that is called as allelopathy. So, injurious effects of one upon another. It is also known as teletoxy. So, it is the phenomena of one plant having harmful effect on another plant through release of toxic chemical compounds. So, it may be a direct effect or indirect effect. So, that depends on how the allelopathic chemicals transform in the soil, whether it is directly, whether the chemical released by one plant is directly affecting another, or after some conversions or modifications in the soil it is affecting the plants. One more term, atotoxy, we should also know that sometimes a daughter plant releases chemicals that may affect its parent plant. I told you allelopathy is also known as teletoxy. Now, teletoxy is allelopathy. Atotoxy means a daughter plant is seedling from a parent plant. This best example is from the Parthenium. See, Parthenium grows and matures and produces seeds, and these seeds of Parthenium fall in the soil and new Parthenium germinates. That new Parthenium, that daughter plant, that is called as a daughter plant, that new Parthenium has some toxic chemicals, it releases into the soil and it affects its parent plant, that is called as atotoxicity. So, Parthenium is example for atotoxicity. Now, plant growth, crop growth is affected by two phenomena of the weeds, one is competition and another is allelopathy. We cannot differentiate actually that whether the crop is not growing because of the presence of weeds and weeds are causing competition or weeds are causing allelopathic character. So, both things are happening simultaneously. So, competition means the weed is removing the resources like nutrients and water, it is absorbing, sunlight it is absorbing, whereas allelopathy means it is the weeds are releasing toxic chemicals in the soil, and both effects are responsible for reduction in the crop plant growth of crop plant, and that is called as plant interference. Okay. So, we should not say that the reduction in crop yield is because of crop weed competition, it is always because of crop weed interference. This word should be used instead of competition, because not only competition is happening, but allelopathy characteristics is also happening, which is reducing the yield of crop. Now, what are the different types of toxic chemicals released in the soil? These toxic chemicals are secondary plant metabolites. What are secondary plant metabolites? The secondary plant metabolites are those chemicals which are non-essential for the growth of the particular plant. So, these weeds, they are releasing from their body the chemicals which are non-essential for the growth of that crop. They may be alkaloids, phenolics, flavonoids, terpenoids, glucosinolates, benzoxazinones, cyanogenic compounds. So, these are the different groups of chemicals released. What are the possible ways of allelochemical release? So, allelochemical, the most common way is releasing through the root exudates. So, weeds are releasing the allelochemicals through roots, or they are releasing through stem flow after rainfall, or the leachates from the aerial plants by dew rain, okay. Also by volatilization, vaporization from the leaves, also by decomposition of the dead plant material in the soil. So, these are the different mechanisms by which the herbicides are released by weeds into the atmosphere or into the soil or into the farm. Now, which chemicals are released? Now, you can see here terpenoids are released because of the evaporation from the leaves. Phenolics and alkaloids are released because of the rainfall, and after rainfall from the weeds, these chemicals are released in the soil. Then phytotoxic aglycones are released after decomposition of the material in the soil. Scopolamine and hydroquinones are released because of this stem flow and root exudates. Interference of monocot weeds on the crop plants. So, some of the we can say weeds which are affecting the crop plant because of allelopathic character are Agropyron repens, quackgrass. This is a weed which is releasing allelopathic chemicals. Avena fatua wild oat is releasing allelopathic chemicals. Cypress species is releasing allelopathic chemicals. We will discuss in detail. Quackgrass, Agropyron repens. These are the examples we are studying. It produces ethylene, and this ethylene through rhizomes due to microbial activity in the soil, and it has bad effect on the crops. It results in decrease in uptake of nutrient by maize and potato. So, quackgrass, very common weed, Agropyron repens, produces ethylene through the rhizomes and due to microbial activity, and result in decrease in nutrient uptake by the maize and potato. Then similarly, Avena fatua wild oat, growth of leaves and roots of wheat is reduced due to root exudates of Avena fatua. Two allelopathic chemicals found are scopolamine and vanillic acid. Then nutsage, Cyperus rotundus and esculentus, yellow nutsage inhibits the root and shoot growth of maize and soybean. Purple nutsage reduces the germination of mustard, barley and cotton. Seedling growth of all crops is affected because of allelopathic chemicals. Now, we discussed about the monocot weeds. Some dicot examples are Amaranthus dubius, pigweed, Ambrosia, Artemisifolia, common ragweed, Parthenium hysterophorus, congress grass. So, Amaranthus dubius, this is again a very common weed we see everywhere on the roadside weed, and it inhibits the germination of seeds of maize, sorghum, beans. It also inhibits the growth of soybean more in sandy soils. Ambrosia artemisifolia, it called as common ragweed, very dangerous, and especially it affects human health. Root exudate and aqueous extracts of shoot. Root exudates and aqueous extract of shoot of this plant affect the seed germination and growth of radish, sorghum. 5 phytotoxins have been isolated from this weed. So, this weed is not only having one phytotoxin, but 5 phytotoxins have been isolated. Parthenium, seed germination, seedling growth, chlorophyll production of radish, cabbage, cauliflower, groundnut, black gram is affected because of the Parthenium. And decaying leaves inhibit the nodulation, growth and yield of beans, cowpea and tomato and ragi. So, after decomposition also it affects the germination of these seeds crop, as well as a standing crop also affects. What are the factors that affect allelopathy? Plant factors are there, stress factors. Plant factors include plant density. If the crop density is more, then there will be less effect of allelopathic chemicals. Okay. If the crop density is more, automatically the number of weeds will also be less, and that is why less effect of allelopathic chemicals. Plant age, then release of allelopathic chemicals occurs only at critical stage, release of allelopathic chemicals. So, weed is having allelopathy, but it is not releasing allelopathy throughout its life. It may be producing allelopathic chemical at early stage, okay, just like sorghum is having HCN at early stage. So, releasing of allelopathic chemicals occur at plant stage. Parthenium has more allelopathic chemicals at flowering stage. Then life cycle, if the weed emerges later, there will be less problem of allelopathic chemical. So, we know that the after sowing of the crop, weeds emerge simultaneously sometimes in case of rain fed area, and in case of irrigated area, if you sow the crop early, weed emerge later. So, the weeds which emerge later, they have less effect on the crops, because crop is already matured. Then plant habit, allelopathic interference is higher in perennial weeds. So, more allelopathic chemicals are found in perennial weeds, as they survive for longer period of time, they have more regeneration capacity. Plant habitat, cultivated soil has higher values of allelopathy than uncultivated soils. So, regularly cultivated soils have more allelopathic chemicals as compared to the uncultivated soils. The soil and air temperature as well as the soil moisture influence the allelopathic chemicals. Okay, release of the chemicals, its further reactions in the soil depend on soil temperature and soil moisture. Physiochemical and biological properties influence the presence of allelopathic chemicals. So, what are the chemical reactions happening in the soil? What are the microbial processes happening in the soil? They also affect the presence of allelopathic chemicals. And stress factors, abiotic and biotic stress may also influence the activity of allelopathic chemicals, means the temperature, rainfall, humidity, okay, solar radiation, these are abiotic factors, and microbial processes, the biotic stresses. What is the importance of, now this is most interesting, that what is the importance of allelopathic chemicals? So, most of the people believe that it is a negative phenomena, but possible management tool by using cover crops. We can use allelopathy as a possible weed management tool. Imagine if your crops release allelopathic chemicals, what will happen? If the crop releases allelopathic chemicals, it will not allow the weeds to grow, and if the weeds are not grown, then weed management automatically becomes easy. There is no need to spend money on spraying of herbicide, no need to spend money on tillage operations, because your crop is releasing allelopathic chemical, it is not allowing any other plants to grow, automatically weed control is achieved. Now, this is what scientists are searching for, and they are developing new varieties which having allelopathic chemicals and which can kill the weeds. So, such cover crops are barley, oat, wheat, rye, canola, mustard. Most of these are tried in western countries, red clover, white clover, sweet clover, perennial ray grass, and they are achieving weed control by using these cover crops. Cropping system are the best considered replacement for pre-emergent herbicides. So, if your crops have ability to control the weeds, then they are replacement for pre-emergent herbicides. What are some important crops and chemicals? So, if your crop is having allelopathic chemical, which are those chemicals found by the scientists? Sorghum has sorgoleone, rice has momilactone, wheat has diboa. So, these are the, we can say, short forms. Rye has diboxa, maize has dim to boa, and oat has scopolamine, velvet bean has L. dopa. So, these are some names of the allelopathic chemicals in particular crops. Allelopathic effects of crops on the weeds. Now, we have seen up till now the effect of allelopathic weeds on the crops. Now, crops also have allelopathic chemicals. So, root exudation of maize inhibit the growth of Chenopodium album. So, weed chemical which is affecting the growth of weed, that is Chenopodium album. The cold water extract of wheat straw when applied to weeds reduce the germination and growth of Abichulon species. This is some findings of research after scientists did their research on allelopathic chemical. They found out that even the crop is also having allelopathic chemicals and they have bad effects on weeds. So, breeding of the weed suppressing the crop varieties. So, we want to develop such weed suppressing crop varieties. Breeding, one such example is ICSV 145. It is a pure line variety selected from the cross between IS 18475 and a low stimulant producer, that is resistant to Striga, that is IS 18468. So, these are the both sorghum varieties. One variety is high yielding variety, another variety is low stimulant producing Striga resistant variety. So, we know that the Striga is a parasitic weed on sorghum or bajra or sugarcane, and this is parasitic weed because sorghum releases some stimulant in the soil which allows the growth of Striga. There are some sorghum varieties which are releasing more stimulant, so more Striga growth is happening. There are some varieties which are releasing less stimulant. So, such variety ICSV is a low stimulant releasing variety useful for control of Striga in Striga affected area. So, high yielding variety adopted in India is CSV 5, which is Striga resistant variety of sorghum. Then trap crops to control the parasitic weeds. Okay. Example is cowpea. For Striga again, cowpea, cotton, soybean, peanut. These crops does not release the stimulant or allelopathic chemicals in the soil, and we can control the weeds like Striga. So, tree litter can be used to control the weeds. Phytotoxic mulches we can call them. So, tree litters. So, whatever the leaves are falling down, and we can say some extracts falling from the plants, that can be used to control the weeds. The best example is eucalyptus tree. Okay. That eucalyptus tree you might have seen, Nilgiri, it is popularly called as. So, leaf leachets from the eucalyptus tree, they have some chemicals which suppress the growth of nutsedge. They generally do not allow any other plants to grow below the eucalyptus tree, and that is because of the allelochemicals. Plant products as herbicides. Dry cuscuta powder inhibits the white water hyacinth. So, actually the cuscuta is a weed, but if you prepare a powder from cuscuta, a dry cuscuta powder inhibits the growth of water hyacinth. Synthetic derivatives of natural product as herbicides. So, we can extract these allelopathic chemicals from the crops and we can develop a bioherbicides. Sorgoleone, I told you earlier that sorghum roots has a exudate called as sorgoleone. It can be used to prepare a bioherbicide. It inhibits the photosynthesis. It has same action as the diuron. Decreases the dependence on synthetic agrochemicals that degrade the environmental quality. If you develop bioherbicides by using allelopathy, it decreases the dependence on the chemical herbicides and we can save our environment. Reduces the crop production expenses and increase the crop production. So, cost of the production will decrease and production will increase. A factor affecting change in weed species composition. So, these allelopathic chemicals also are responsible for change in weed species composition. So, this is about allelopathy and types, we can say importance of allelopathy in weed management. Different chemicals released in different crops and its impact on weeds, weeds and its impact on crops. So, all these things we discussed in this topic of allelopathy. So, I hope this was a useful information. Thank you for today.